Hey, people. Hey. You're listening to the Dougie Stone podcast. This podcast is a bit different to some of the last ones that I've been doing, or the early ones, which were interview-based. This podcast comes from my radio show on Dougie Stone Radio, the business shows. The Dougie Stone Show. Oh, yeah. The Dougie Stone Show. Yeah, on this show, I'm talking about team dynamics, going from forming, storming, norming, and performing, taking you through that. Bit of an overview for you to go and investigate it. It's a very interesting subject. And I've got a special guest on as well. I've got the one and only Howard Vale from Whirly Gigs on, having a bit of a natter, bit of a chitter-chatter. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this podcast special. The Dougie Stone Show. Grow, you need to bring teams in, and it might be, it might be not a team related to business, but we interact with teams on a daily basis throughout our lives, throughout our careers, and what I think people, it's not difficult. The concept about teams and what team dynamics and what teams need to do is, you probably already know it, but all too often people look at successful teams and go, let's just copy that. Yeah, whatever that thing they do in there, and they might see one element of what that team's doing and go, we'll copy that because that must be the magic ingredient. Everyone's searching for a silver bullet for business to succeed, wherever. They're always looking for this magic thing that doesn't exist, people. Time is one of the... is the magic bullet, I think, and how you can reduce that time. But you can't get something from nothing to amazing in 2 minutes. It doesn't happen, people. It takes time. Look at all the successful teams out there that you can think of, whether business teams, whether that's sports teams. They have not just gone, do you know what, we're putting this team together and boom, it's massive, it's successful, everyone knows about it, everyone gravitates towards it. It doesn't happen. So what I'm going to talk to you about, two different parts, two different elements to it. One is about what makes a good team. Yeah. What a team needs to be good, yeah. So what are the defining things? And I've got about 8 things to talk. Not about 8 things. I've got 8 things to talk about. And the other thing is, every team goes through stages, and I think this is key. When I learned this years ago, when I was on a management program back in the day, and I think people, once I explain it to you and you look at it, you'll go, that makes sense. And every team goes through these stages. Every single team. Yeah, and it's how quickly you move from the stages, and you can also drop back into stages. And the stages are forming, you might have heard it all before, forming, storming, norming, and performing. And you go, well, what does that mean? Well, it's simple. When you put a team together, it's the forming stage. So this stage is where a team are the most positive, polite. Some are anxious, and you don't fully understand the work the team has to do, but there's an air of excitement, yeah, naivety, whatever. And you know what I mean, don't you? You start a new job or you build everyone is really excited because we're going to build this team. This is what we're going to work on. We're going to get going. And if you're a leader, you play a dominant role at this stage because the team members aren't sure of their responsibilities or what they're supposed to be doing. So if you're a leader and you're forming a team, this is the time when you have to be heavily involved to help, because the people are lost, otherwise they'll just walk around aimlessly. This stage can last some time, and people start to work together as they make an effort to know their new colleagues. So the forming bit can take a while. And like I say, the quicker you can get through these stages, the better it is for you, the business, the group, the team, whatever you're trying to achieve, right? So that's the first bit. We've all done that. I'm a new job. Oh, we're all excited. Got this new job. 3 months later, it's crap here. Do you know what I mean? It's always the same in a few years. So the stages. So the next one's storming. Then we got norming. Then we got performing. So storming. This team moves into the storming phase where people start to push against the boundaries and establishment and forming stage. So do you know what I mean? So once they've got through that initial, we don't know what to do, and people start, this is where your arguments can also start as well, and people get a bit conflict between team members. it's natural working style. People may work in different ways for all sorts of different reasons. If different working styles causes unforeseen problems, then they may become frustrated. So if you want to do something a certain way and your colleague's doing it another way, you're going to get a bit miffed, aren't you? And it can cause tension, and it can cause squabbling, it can cause unrest. Yeah. And also what can happen in this is team members can change their authority. So someone who might have been quite dominant at the start, the forming stage, and then someone might have been quite quiet in the forming stage. Those roles might reverse, and that person that's quiet has worked out everything what's going on from the set, because people learn in different styles, there's different learning styles, and they might grasp the situation and go, do you know what, I've got this, and they take control. Yeah. So some questions are worth to the team at this point. Team goals, what we're trying to achieve. If you haven't defined clearly how the team will work, people at this stage may feel overwhelmed by the workload, because it's all right once you first start, because there's not a lot to do, is there? When you start anything, there's not a lot to do. It's a bit like the radio station. Start the radio station, there's loads of bits and bobs to do, but as time goes on, more things get added, and then you've got to add stuff to, like we do Mixcloud and a podcast, and then you've got to do this, and we'd have to do that. And you can actually feel overwhelmed, and team members can feel overwhelmed at the storming stage, and that is why it's called the storming stage. So we're going to have another track now, just try to let you digest that. So the forming stage, let's recap, is the stage where you come to bring a team together, whether that's a networking grouping team, whether that's a football team, whether that's a business team. Everyone's excited, prospect for the future. We don't know what's going to happen, but we've got lots of guidance from our team leader. If the team leader or the leader of this organisation doesn't get this bit right, then you're going to be in trouble for quite some time. You'll be in the forming stage forever. And then storming, obviously, tension starts to rise. People trying to buck against the system. People change position, as we've talked about. So they're the first two stages. Name dropping there, Karen. Well done. Thanks for that. Thanks for tuning in today, people. If you're listening on Mixcloud on the podcast, please subscribe and please share it with people if they want to try to build a cracking team. That's what this show's about today. Oh, we're also, just so you know, we're everywhere, people, on various devices, various apps. We've just been recently accepted and added to the Radio Line app on your TV. So Sky TV box or your TiVo box, go and try it. I've been trying it this morning. It's brilliant. It's dead easy. It's on the front page. Oh, so go and try that. So, right, the norming stage. So gradually, if you've been in, I hope you're recognising some of these things. And if you're currently in a team, which stage are you in? Yeah. Just think about what stage you're in. Gradually, the norming stage is the team moves into the norming stage. This is when people start to resolve their differences. They appreciate the colleagues' strengths and respect the authority of the leader. Are you identifying with any of this? Now your team members know one another better. They may socialise together, so they might go out for a drink or a coffee or whatever, go out for lunch, and they also be asked one another for help and provide constructive feedback. So this is the point where people can give constructive feedback, where it's not taken negatively and it's genuine there as a team. People develop a stronger commitment to the team goal and start to see good progress towards it. So the previous ones can be very frustrating. The last one can be very frustrating because lots of activity going on and no one sees where they're going. Sometimes there's a bit of an overlap between norming and performing, because as you add new processes or new things to this team, or new people, you can drop back again. And I think I'd never watch it now, but I used to I love team dynamics and watching teams. And if none of this is making sense so far, if you've ever watched Big Brother, it's reality TV, people. Big Brother, what's really interesting about Big Brother, and that's why I used to like it, was you'd have a group of individuals in the house, and then what they do, and they all you'll see it, they start all excited when they first go in, and then they start storming and freaking arguing with each other, and then they start normalising. And guess what? When they normalise, that is boring TV. So what do? They mix up, don't they? They take people out, they isolate them, or they put other people into the mix. Might bring an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend in, or someone into the mix, or another person, and it totally blows the dynamics of the team, and you end up back into a storming stage. And guess what? TV loves the storming stage. No one wants to watch this boring TV, do they? So that's why I really love watching that. And I love watching teams, and I see a lot of teams that are around doing stuff that they're trying to copy what other people are doing. It doesn't always work. If you know me and know what I'm doing in for networking, I've got I think the best team in the network. And guess why? We've gone through all these stages and we're actually performing, which is the next stage. So the performing stage, the team reaches the performance stage when hard work leads with no frustration. So you've got no frustration and the achievement of the team goals. So whatever your team goal is, you start doing it, and you start doing it on a regular basis. And don't forget, throughout this, you need KPIs, you need key performance indicators, you need where we're going, and that's what you should have done at the start. These are our metrics. This is where we're going, people, and you'll know when we get there because we've told you where we're going. Yeah. It's dead easy to feel part of the team, and people join or leave without disrupt the performance. So you can get to a point where teams can. It depends, because sometimes you can lose key members, and it does have a real drastic effect on the team dynamics, as I've just said, with Big Brother as an example. But actually, you can get teams where people will leave. Yes, people will be upset that team member's gone, but because you've got this culture, you've got this performance going, you're the sum of the whole. It's not just reliant on one individual. So yes, you might say, oh, it's sad that Fred's left, but actually we're just going to carry on because we're already performing, we're already moving. If it happens at any other stages, then yes, you could. If it was happened at the norming stage, then you could end up going back to storming again. New team member comes along and you start with the arguments and not getting on. So that's that bit. So there's one extra bit, because this was done in about 1965. All this management theory was done and team dynamics. But there's another one that someone's added in, which is adjourning, which many teams will reach a stage eventually. For example, so if you're working on a project team, if a team's set up for a specific project, I don't know, could be building a house, could be building a new system, could be restructuring an organisation. That team has only been set up for that particular thing, and it's going to disband. So team members who like routine or have developed close working relationship with colleagues may find this stage not very good for people. However, at myself, doing the jobs that I used to do in the past, and I looked at the things that I used to enjoy doing, I really like the forming stage and the storming stage. When it starts normalising performing, I tended it in business tends to get bored, and that's why I ended up being, for want of that word, a troubleshooter, because I'd go in for specific projects, get the thing rocking, and get in, get out, whether it was opening a contract, closing a contract, reorganising, making people redundant, recruiting, whatever. I really enjoyed that. Short-term jobs that I knew had an end date, when I couldn't see an end date to it. And that's just my style, and I think that's I've ended up working for myself. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through that, and especially dyslexics. So they're the stages. That's the first part of the show. So it's forming, storming, norming, performing. Remember that, people. What stage is your business or your team currently in, or the team that you're developing? And don't just look at other teams and think, what are they doing that we're not doing that gets us to that point? Yes, there could be some learning from it, but there's no magic. But you've got to go through this process, people, and you can quickly go through it, and you can also go back to stages. Hopefully that makes sense. If you want to know a bit more about that, you can always drop me a line, contact@dougiestoneradio.com, and I'll answer your questions if I can. But I've seen lots and lots of teams over the years, and once you understand the dynamics, what the stages are, you'll find it a lot easier to both develop, sustain, and produce world-class teams. It's that simple, isn't it? But it's not easy. The Dougie Stone Show. This part of the show was all about forming, storming, norming, and performing. I tell you what, we have got some wonderful show sponsors on the show today, so we better give them a shout out and play their ads. So here we go.
At How to Look Good and Feel Great, our philosophy is simple. We want to help people feel great and look great. We want people to be inspired to emphatically change their own well-being. Our Haute Couture range of health and beauty products will positively transform you. Contact us today at www.howtolookgreatandfeelgreat.com.
At Metal Man Fabs, our range is vast. But our specialty is fully automated gates. Whatever you need created in metal, we're here to create amazing bespoke designs just for you. Our motto is simple. Our only limitation is your imagination. For examples, contact and details, including some outstanding customer feedback, go to metalmanfabs.co.uk or email us at info@metalmanfabs.co.uk. Remember, our only limitation is your imagination. Metal Man, Coventry.
Oh, yeah. Before I play the next one, I just got to give a shout out to Roger at Metal Man Fabs in Coventry. We've got, if you didn't know, we've got a design business. Sandra's a designer, and we bought a press for pressing it onto print press, manual one. It was absolutely garbage. So I took it to Roger and went, Roger, can you have a look at this? And he actually built us a new one, because all he took was the mechanism of it. It was absolutely garbage what she'd bought. No fault of her own, but the supply was ridiculous. Anyway, Roger built this press, and Son was using it the weekend. It was brilliant. I'll have to share some pictures with you. We actually run out of room for her to put her prints up on Sunday when she was trying out. So if you need anything in metal doing, give Roger a shout, because I tell you what, he knows what he's doing.
Whirly Gigs, professional intros and exit animated logos, making you stand out from the crowd. Add your promo videos or website. Complement your Whirly Gigs with a couch interview. An opportunity to have your conversation professionally filmed and branded, where you talk about your story, what you do and why you do it. Get your branded Whirly Gigs and Couch interview today. Contact Howard Vale, King of the Video Whirly Gigs, on 07956 218 136 or whirlygigs.co.
Yeah, go and check Howard out. No, really good team member. We're talking about teams, and he's part of my team at Leamington. And I've got to give him, I'm talking about teams, got to give my team a shout out. Howard, Karen and John. And we've gone through all those stages, the forming, norming, and perform. We're performing now, and it works. And I'm going to tell you what makes, we've got, this second half is going to be seven things, 7 qualities of a successful team. So, you'll know these as well, people, but that's what we know a lot of stuff. And if you don't know it, then obviously it's great if you're hearing it for the first time. But you just have to go back and revisit things, because sometimes we get a bit clouded about all the things that's going on and start trying to do all weird and wonderful things. Basically, number one, they communicate well with each other. You've got to communicate. We communicate, our teams at the station, at Full Networking, every team I've ever worked with, always communicate well. And it's how you can get rid of conflict, how everyone can understand what's going on, because poor communication or no communication does lead to other things. People get confused. You end up with arguments. As an example, when I used to work for a massive global distribution company, we used to have a daily phone call with all the teams in the UK. Where are we up to today? What happened yesterday? What are we up to today? What's going on later on? What do we need to look out for? Does anyone need any help? That sort of stuff. Brilliant. Quick 5, 10, 15-minute chat, done. If you look at some of the big supermarkets and things like that, and they will have things called like the huddles, some people call them, where they get them all together, stand round, this is where we're up to, team, this is what we're doing today, this is what's good, and off they go. They focus on goals and results. If you've not got any goals or targets, then you're weaning the wind, because if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to hit it, have you? You know, if look at football and any sport, there's a goal, isn't there? In football, there's a goal. The team know where they're going. They've got to get that ball into the back of the net. That's their goal, yeah? How they do that, and that's another kettle of fish, but that's what they've got to do. So as your team, what's your team's targets, and what their objective? One thing here as well, people, to think about, which a lot of people, you've got to watch what your goals are and what the rewards are for those goals. So, for example, if you want everyone to work together as a team, then for goodness sake, don't set rewards that reward one person, because if you're setting something to reward one person, then everyone will start working in isolation because they want the prize. Do something that fosters working together. Everyone has to contribute their fair share. This is a bit of an issue, because when people don't, the people that are grafting get really fed up. Each member of the team contributes their fair share of workload and fully understands what their responsibilities are and where they fit into the running of the business. If people don't know and you've not told them, don't blame them when they don't do what you're supposed to do and everyone starts arguing. Number 4, they offer each other support. People need to be offering each other support. If they don't, your team's going to fall apart. But teams that are really successful offer each other support. The team members are very diverse. Now, this is key, because what I tell a lot of people tend to do is go, oh, that person's like me, I like that person, like that person, like that, and pull them all together. Wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. You need to bring a team together that's got different skills. So have you got someone, I don't know, let's just think of a business, any business. If you need, this day and age, you need someone who's good at social media, who's good at promoting. You need someone who's good at the administration. You need you know what I mean? You need someone who's got different skills and ability. Some people may be very good at very people focused and forward facing to talk to customers. Other people might not be. So you don't want a team of all salespeople, do you? You want people that are good at different things. So make sure you also get people from, potentially if you can, different cultures, different backgrounds, different ages. Make it as broad as you can. On the station, as an example, which I'm still blown away by it, even though it's what I wanted to develop. We've got our youngest presenter is 12 and our oldest presenter is whatever. Yeah. So we're in our 50s. Yeah. Our presenters. We've got people in South Africa, Australia, Argentina, the UK. So we've got culture, we've got different things going on. Yeah. Different ideas, different experiences. It will enrich your team. Good leadership. You need to be a good leader. If you're not a good leader, it'll all fall apart. It's vital. A strong team usually have a strong, good leader, someone they trust and respect. They don't just follow people, because if you put someone in as a supervisor, don't expect a team or a team just to gravitate towards them just because you've given that title. People will only go follow if they trust and respect that individual. Number 7, people are organised. They need to be organised for a smooth running of business. If you've just in complete chaos all the time, you're going to go into a bit of a place, a bit of a mess. You do need a bit of chaos, obviously, but people need to be holding regular meetings, etc., things like that. And work needs to be completed on a timely basis. So people need to be organised. Number 8, for me, this is one of the key things. I think we get too stuffy when we're in corporate world. It's all work and no play. What does it say? Makes Jack a dull boy, leads to burnout. Have some fun. One of the best boss I ever had, believed in having fun. I tell you what, we would do anything for him. He was a brilliant leader, but once a month we used to have a team meeting 2 days away, and the first day was all-day session meeting, going through the targets, all the things we talked about, where we're up to, what we're doing, who needs help, and then at the night time, we went out and we partied. Yeah. I've got some great memories of that. But you know what? That team was absolutely solid because they worked, we played, we had fun, we knew each other. And for me, that was one of the best teams I've ever been involved in. It was absolutely brilliant. So does that make sense? I hope it does. So 8 points. So number 1, they communicate well together. Number 2, they focus on goals and results. Number 3, everyone contributes their fair share. Number 4, they offer each other support. Number 5, team members are diverse. Number 6, good leadership. Number 7, they are organised. And number 8, they have fun. I'm loving it. So we're talking about teams today. The Dougie Stone Show. Or discuss, please let me know and I'll add it to my list. Because if you don't know, I've got a wealth of experience. I'm not bigging myself up or anything, but just so you know, I've spent a lot of time in corporate world working all over the place in Benelux, the UK, worked on virtually everything. I think the only thing I've not moved is bodies, but that's another thing. But yeah, I'll give you a shout. And talking about teams, I've got someone on the line here. Are you there, caller?
Hello.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing?
Mystery caller. I'm very well. How are you, sir?
Mystery caller on the line, yeah. Right, yeah. So today, Howard, we're talking. This is Howard People, one of my amazing team, and we're all in the team. So we're talking a bit about teams. So have you got any viewpoints on teams, dude?
Yeah, I heard you giving out all those points. So you cover most of it, but um, you've got to gel and have a common view, and not necessarily that your view is going to prevail, because everyone. You have a team of four. You're going to have about 10 opinions. So
Yeah.
it's all about compromising and trying to be objective and seeing other people's point of view. That actually benefits the team.
Yeah, I like that. No, that's really good. And also I think it's quite important.
So I'm a team player, and I think from personal experience, sometimes you don't necessarily agree with it, but sort of then you realise that it does work out in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. And for me, you've got I've lost my thread for a second there. You've also got to find that you need your team. People have obviously got to be of the same mindset. So if your ethics have to be aligned as well. So you could be a really good salesman. There's no point in you going into an organisation or bringing someone in where their ethics are not aligned with your business. So if they're unethical, for example, then your business is going to fall apart, and you've got to be careful of that. So yeah, it's good, mate. So what I thought I'd bring you on. What's been good with you, dude? Because you did your first foresight last week, which is a keynote speech at a network meeting, but there's lots of stuff going on with you at the minute, isn't there? What are you up to?
Busy with the coach interviews and Whirly Gigs, and as you said, I did my first keynote speech, and I don't know why it took so long to do it, because I was on a bit of a high afterwards.
Yeah.
Especially getting a good reception, so I enjoyed doing that, and as I just said, doing the Whirly Gigs and Couch interviews.
Yeah,
which is.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt. I think as well, a lot of people with business as well, especially in that you've got to get out there, and we're programmed with a lot of fear of standing up and especially talking to people or sharing stuff with them, which can result in inaction, and it holds you back. And after that session the other day, and the advice for people out there: get out and about. You do Facebook Lives, get out there, do podcasting, go on public speak, because it'll make you feel great, and it's also good for everyone else to understand you better, don't it? Because we've got a great team, and people don't understand the dynamics of the team, but we do, because we're all working, and that's why I wanted to cover it as well. People set up new teams and look at our team and go, wow, they're really successful. We've been working together for over 12 months now as a team, and we've gone through all those stages, haven't we?
Yeah, it doesnnt take overnight. And how you put teams together, you can go from one extreme to another, because some companies do psychometric testing to see personality tests, or you just do it the old-fashioned way and use your experience. Because I know you put teams together in the past, and when we put in this team together, we mentioned certain names, said, yeah, that's all right, no, and then we discussed team roles, and you said, and this is the point I'm trying to make. You had three personalities to try and satisfy, but you, for want of a better expression, say no. Put your foot down and say no. You're going to do this, and I think this role is good for you, and I think this role is good for you. And we either had to accept it. As you just said, if it didn't line with your ethics, then you walk away.
Yeah.
But actually worked out well. I mean, I hate to say it because you're my mate, but you were right.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as an individual you think that you're good at this, but you can, and I'm not saying that and I get it right every time, but you can also look at people and go, well, actually, your abilities and your skills fit into this bit. I mean, what you do in your business, and you're a sponsor on the station, which is fantastic, and thanks for that. Whirly Gigs and Couch interviews. I'd like you to explain that briefly, but basically what you're doing is you use those skills and abilities in our team, and it's one element. That on its own is great, but that on its own would not create a great team and the results that we get. And that's not diluting it from what you do, because every little element has to work and has to gel together. So tell them quickly, because couch interviews and Whirly Gigs, what does that mean? I know.
Yeah.
Come on, tell us.
I know what you mean. I mean, this is perfect for radio because it's video. It's two things. The Whirly Gigs are 3D animations of your logo, which gives your video an identity. I hate to use this word, branding. Like when you watch EastEnders of the Coronation Street, you see them, you hear the music, you see the colours, you know it's going to be Coronation Street, and that goes in your video content. And
Yeah.
what I discovered that people, as you can say, don't like doing lives, don't like doing videos, and this, that, and the other. So I provide the content with a couch interview, and what that is, quite simply, is a structured conversation about what you do and why you're doing. Not necessarily selling your stuff, but selling your own story, because you're the only one who's going to enthuse about what you do. So it's a conversation, and the idea is that people will get to know you, because there is an old thing which is older than people buy people. So people say, oh, Kirk's a good bloke, he's a nice fellow, or John's really cool guy. I'll see what he's got to offer. So you're attracting people to what you do, and it can either be done by a one-off or a series of couch interviews, so that because when people see it on your own social media or your website or YouTube or whatever, people need to see about 10 times before they get to know you. So that's what it is in a very simple way. It is
that's good.
A structured conversation about what you do.
That's good. No, it really is good, and perfect for radio, video, and
yeah, it is.
I've got a Whirly gig, and it's an animated. If anyone's seen some of my YouTube videos, I did put it in my last one that I did last week, which was an edit from our meeting, and started the show off introducing it, and then put my animated logo on, or the Whirly gig, and I think it's great. It just gives you. It just makes it feel more professional. And you're right. I know you're talking about branding. That was yesterday's show. I talked about branding. And branding is vital. Everything you do needs to line up that you can put into your team and your business. So that's really good, that, mate. It's really cool. Where are you off to tomorrow? Are you going to Solihull networking tomorrow? Or are you not going?
Yes, I am. I am with the youngest member of Foreign, my daughter.
Oh yeah, and that is great, and she's like another extension of our team, because you appeared in some of our photographs that we did last year. Yeah, when the team put together, and that's one reason why I wanted to talk about teams today, because I think it's people overlook it and just expect, or leaders expect, oh, just get on with that. You know what you're doing. You know where we're going. Oh, get on with it. Yeah, you've really got to get involved and work at it. That's really cool. Yeah,
mate. Can I just say one thing about team? I know I don't want to sort of be backslapping how good we are, but what we do at Leamington, because the foresight of the keynote speech is our guest of honour, and then he or she becomes an honorary member of our team on the day. Yeah. And everybody who attends are our guests, and we're there to make sure they treat you well, and they got everything that. Well, actually, no, forget all that. They're actually made welcome. To us.
Yeah. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree, and that takes time, and there's been a lot of frustrations along the way. We've gone through all the stages, like I said before, but I think when you look at those 7 or 8 things that we do, you communicate well, focus on goals and results. Everyone contributes a fair. Well, I don't know if I'm not sure about that. If everyone contributes a fair, no, they do. They offer each other support. Team members are diverse. Yeah, you got good leadership. Not sure about that. They're organised. John, we have fun.
Yeah, we do. I mean, John, Karen, and I know that you don't pull your weight, and that's accepted.
I know, mate.
So we have to move on. That's how we roll.
That's how we roll, baby. And what I like about what you're doing in the minute, and just a bit of a plug for you, you promote the meetings, and you've for some reason, I started off as a bit of a thing, but you do Leamington News, don't you? And you do it in the old 1940s type thing, which goes.
Well, it's organic. It's just organic. we just don't plan it, and it's actually improved my skills. Actually.
Yeah. I think that's wonderful, and I can see you those skills have developed over a period of time, and the way you promote the meeting, I think, is brilliant, because you pull it together, you add the fun element to that bit before the meeting, and I think it really works. So I highly recommend, if anyone he's not sure about doing video and wants a bit of a promo, go and talk to Howard.
Howie.
My brain went then. Go and talk to Howie and get a Whirly Gig made. They're brilliant, but use them. Put them in your videos. You've got to use them. You've got to use them like everything. Don't just have it and put it under the shelf. It's not just going to magic itself onto social media. Anyway, we better move on in a minute, dude. Is there a particular track you'd like playing? I've not asked you that.
Got anything? How do you want to put me on the spot? I can't think of any song in the world. Oh, God,
I should have.
I think something funky.
Something funky.
Something funky that aligns with my ethics of music.
Something funky. Well, we could go cheesy and put something in that's got funky in the title, couldn't we? But it's explicit.
Play that funky music. You got that?
Play that funky music. Why? I'll tell you
White
what.
Boy. Yeah.
Have you been watching The Big Bang Theory?
I haven't watched it for ages.
Well, that's one of the things he says when they're in a car journey. He goes, "Play that funky music, white boy," and he doesn't even know what it's referring to, but it's obviously referring to a song. And yeah, it's really good, mate. It's really good. Boom, you're in. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you've got any topics or subjects you want me to go over, I need to give a quick mention here to something. Deb Stevens sent me, hi, on communication, can you please give a plug for the Institute of Scientific and Technical Communicators, which is ISTC, and it's istc.org.uk, for a whole list of specialist communication areas. Teams can often have an idea of what you know. Anyway, go and check that out. We're running out of time, so go and check that out. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Debs. Anyway, what do you think of the show? I've got something here. Hang on.
It was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, it was great. Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away.
Hey, boo!
Boo!
Oh, thank you. See you later.
The Dougie Stone Show.